Okay, so today, going to try to do 4 things. It's a lot in an hour that's left, but here they are. We're going to talk about e-communication. That's obviously technology. We're going to talk about why, when, and how to use it. We will take some time to develop an e-communication policy for all the faculty. We will look at podcasts and online content. I do think there's a place for that. I don't think you have to develop them all, so we'll talk about that. And then finally, we'll talk about online exams and why you want to give an exam before every class. Okay, number 1, let's talk about e-communication. So use e-communication to create more classes. So let's start with something easy. Okay, and Callie, I can't remember if I have a thing here. Do I have to? Okay. Is there a window or something?
You want the pod now for the question?
Yes. Is
Okay,
that what the next question is? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
That's all right. There you go. Okay, so I've given you the first one. If I could have you could type in here. The idea here, look for some easy things. And again, I start with the assumption that at the very least, if you can save some time, you've created more value. Right? Again, remember that I'm driving to campus. I'm spending money for parking. I'm spending money for gas. And so, in a sense, every second that I am in the class is valuable. So if you could gain 30 seconds or 3 minutes, or even, three minutes every class, that gives you a chance to spend those 3 minutes doing something else. So to me, it's worth it to set up a system where you do some of these things in other places. So I've got lots of good answers, answer questions, reminders, group announcements. If you've got a new idea, why don't you try adding it to the window? Lesson objectives. Actually, I think you should have lesson objectives for every class, even if you're doing a discussion. In fact, discussions work a whole lot better if you tell students why you're having a discussion. One of the things about discussions is that students actually think, oh, God, this is stupid. Why would I want to listen to what my other, I came to pay to hear what you have to say. So if you're going to do a discussion, they often don't understand why you're wasting their time with a discussion. So what are the objectives of the discussion? That's a great thing to do in email. All right. So let me ask you. So you can also think email doesn't have to be text, right? I mean, you can put something else in an email. Reflection, great idea. And reflection can be either yours or theirs. All right. So part of what I want to do is just the basics. I want to create more class time for you to do the things that are valuable in the class time, and announcements and these other kinds of things take up class and don't provide a whole lot of value. I also, if you think about it, when somebody says to you in the hall, hey, you come to the meeting tomorrow, I say, gosh, I don't know. I don't have my calendar with me. Send me an email. If the exam time is moved, then I want to know. Okay, so I've just got a great question here about students don't check their email, so the communication is wasted on them. So we'll talk about this in a minute, but it doesn't have to be email. It can be some other form of communication. But you need to establish with your students that you are going to be communicating with them electronically somehow. If you want to do it on Facebook, if you want to do it on Twitter, it doesn't matter. But you can spend a couple of minutes on the first day of class saying, this is how we're going to communicate. This is it, and this is my email, and if your spam filter is filtering me, then you better fix it, because you just need some method of doing it. And then once you establish it, and you send a certain number of emails, once a week or whatever it is, that's just where all that stuff is, and it's not other places. A lot of universities now require students to have that institutional email, and they check their personal email. My solution, you can do one of two things. You can either say, I'm going to set up a list and you need to send me the email you want to read, but I don't like that. What I think you should do is say, look, in the real world, when you get a job, you're going to have an institutional email, and that's the email we're going to use for work. So if you want to stay here and work, that's the email you have to pay attention to. And the truth is that students can pick on their phone which email is going to go where. they can choose to get notifications. It's any student with a phone can choose to set up a button or a buzzer that says anytime they get an email from the professor, it turns it into a text or it blinks on their phone. So you have to find some method for doing this, but whatever email or some kind of email substitute